Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Downtime with Downstar, episode 188. Today, we're here with my guy, Gregg Bucell from KoruWorks.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Did I pronounce it right?
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. You did great. You did phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're based off Atlanta, Georgia, so I'm used to like a Southern slang, we got KoruWorks. We got, KoruWorks, say it however you want it, but we're into really cool, fun drift cars.
I love it, man.
So it's cool to be on your show. I know you're predominantly a Honda guy, which is fantastic, and me, I used to be as well. Actually, still drive a Fit. But it's cool to be on your show,
Thank you,
man.
brother.
It's cool to show you what we're doing over here in the drift
Thank
world.
you, man. You know what? When I saw you at Grid Life last summer, I was like,
yeah,
this is a familiar face that I miss. You know? Everybody there. You know how it is, dude. When you go to a meet, you see everybody and everybody knows you because of your brand or whatever, online presence or whatever. Right. So those conversations that you have are kind of surface level, but when I seen you, I was like, oh shit, this is a wave of like 10 years of a relationship just coming back. And I was like, fuck, it's so good to see you, dude.
Some of this stuff. So when you and I first started hanging out, we were young. We were young. I remember. I think I slept on your parents' couch, or you were sleeping on your parents' couch.
I was on the couch.
It was. Bolt Boys was a corner of your parents' garage. It was like a 5x4 table, and you're like, "I'm gonna get it." You're working at Best Buy, and you're like, "I'm gonna get it." And we were like, "Yo, let's get it together. Let's go to SEMA." Let's go to SEMA. So one of my first SEMAs, me and you drove in, what was that, a 1945?
It was like a 90. It's like a 94 Explorer, forest green.
94 Explorer. You got two 15s in the back. I remember the rear windshield wiper just beating against the window all the way to Las Vegas. And we didn't know what we were getting into. Truly and honestly, you and I had no idea what we were doing back then.
Dude, that's so funny that you mentioned that, bro, because thinking about it, we didn't have any plan. The only plan that we did have was that we were going to stay with Shocker Joe. So we're like, okay, we have somewhere we're going to stay. Yeah. We managed to get tickets to get in.
We had a place. I think we got tickets through S3 Magazine, I think. And I just remember going, and it was gnarly because it was one of the first times where I'd traveled out to like IBOC and stuff in the past, but it was one of the first times where I got to sit down with a lot of the guys I looked up to from NWP. Or is that
it is NWP.
Northwood Pizza. Yeah. God, it's been so long since I've been on that. Yeah. But I remember like the Honda Tech and those guys and meeting up with RJ. You've had him on your show. And I remember I saw RJ, we had dinner with him. And I said, I know you because of one picture on the internet, and it's you with no hood on your car, your arms out the window, and it was like the gnarliest rolling shot of a Civic. And I was like, I don't even know who you are, but I remember that as my screensaver on my computer for years. And I got to have this conversation with him. And Ryan was there. I remember it was whose birthday was it?
Big Mike's birthday, yeah.
Big Mike's birthday. But that was like, again, I wasn't going to SEMA. I don't think you were going to SEMA to have dinner with those people, and now they've been guests on your show. They've been homies of yours for a very long time. They're supporters of your business.
It's crazy how life works.
But back then we didn't see it like that. We just wanted to go see cool cars at a car show.
There wasn't a business. This was like, it was the same thing when I was a kid. This was just me selling CDs. I'm just selling something on the side.
It was a hustle.
That's it. Yeah, dude.
It was a hustle. I remember it was like the funniest, was it a star logo?
Yeah.
That you made in like high school?
Yeah.
I remember that. And I remember you telling me about this star logo, the Downstar. Yeah. And it had really nothing to do with boys, but it was like a thing you were doing. You had a hustle. And that hustle I carried over now to, how old are you?
35.
That's my boy. 35 years old. You're a grown-ass man right now, and that hustle has carried over to what you do day to day.
Yeah, man.
I'm so fucking proud of you.
Thank you, man. It's so refreshing to talk to you, dude, because a lot of these memories I haven't even tapped into ever since, I would just see you out somewhere or something. But, dude, like, you knew me when I used to drink. I I haven't drank
Yeah,
since
yeah, yeah.
November 2010. So that SEMA trip
Wow,
was probably one of the last times that I drank. And the reason I bring that up is
wow.
because I remember we had that huge ice chest with a bunch of Tecate beers inside of it. And there's a picture where at the when Trump was still socially acceptable, we stayed at his residence in Vegas,
We did stay at Trump
and
Palace. Oh, we stayed like
we were.
kings.
I was in the jacuzzi, and it was full of bubbles, and I'm just water falling at Tecate, and I'm like, this is fucking life, bro.
This is life. This is life. And back then to us that was life.
Yeah,
And it's just everything's changed, but our passion hasn't.
definitely.
So it's kind of funny. Everything around automotive in my life has changed. The girl I'm dating is not the same type of girl I was into. What I mean, I'm watching documentaries and stuff. I was never watching
Yeah,
documentaries. Just the person who I am now is not the person I was back then, but my passion is literally
yeah.
identical. I like a Honda Civic modded the same exact way I did when I was 15. I like 240s. Just to say, like my passion for motorsports is the one thing that has not
I love it,
changed.
man. And you still
Yeah,
have a really good personality, bro. You're always happy all the time. I love
thanks,
it.
bud. Yeah, I was always happy. It was I don't know when it was. I think when I was in high school, I didn't have a ton of friends, and so like when you don't have a ton of friends, you just try to be maybe the funny
Yeah,
guy, to try and earn those friends. Um, and I don't know what it was. I think there was just a transition into graduating from high school. Okay, who am I going to be as a person now? And I remember reflecting on myself and going, okay, what does Gregg look like from an outside
yeah.
perspective? And I started just really started honing in, paying attention to what I wanted that person to look like, who I respect myself as a
Yeah.
person, and now I just go through life. But I had to almost train
Hmm.
myself, if that makes any
No,
sense.
I totally agree with
Um,
that, man.
yeah, yeah, it's hard to always be a glass half full person sometimes,
Yeah,
but I try and pride myself on that situation.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I've always lent the other way. Glass half empty, just really negative, and just like you said, I could relate to that
right,
so much. Just knowing, like, wow, how does this look from the outside looking in? I seem like a bitch, dude. I'm always bitching about something, complaining about something,
yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
not looking at the blessings that I actually do have. And it took a lot of monumental events to happen in my life to make me realize that I need to self reflect, see what the things that I'm doing is causing me to be in these certain
right.
situations, and have accountability, and that happened probably maybe in my late 20s, early 30s, just trying to figure out this whole life that we're in, man. Like, a lot of people don't understand. Say, if you're listening to this, guys, and you're a car enthusiast, just imagine turning that into your life, into your career. There's a lot of stuff that comes with it that you really don't focus on if you're just a regular enthusiast, but
Right.
once your name starts growing, the brand starts going, you start meeting different people, you realize relationships aren't what you thought they were. People like you for reasons that you wouldn't like them to like you for,
Yeah.
and then you realize, damn, people really don't like me. They just like what I can do for
Right.
them. And
Right.
that didn't make me feel good. So I wanted to transition into being happy with myself, being 100% genuine with who I am, and whoever's around at the end when the dust settles, those are the people that I want to have in my life.
And that means so much in this industry because of how small our industry is. I've had this conversation. I had it with Larry Chin, and we had a true heart. I said, Larry, you're one of the most talented people that I know. So I don't want to take this away from your talents at all. But in this industry, do you feel it's more what you do or who you know? Um, and he said it's who you
Mm-hmm.
know. And we can elaborate that on that so much, but it's who you know, and it's how you treated that
Yeah.
person, because that person's going to come back around, or they're going to come back around with the friends and stuff. And the people that we knew back in the day, Ryan Rywire, back in the day, the first time I met him, he was working with
Yeah.
Chase Base, and we work with both of those companies
Mm-hmm.
now very closely at KoruWorks on a day-to-day basis. I was talking to Chase Base today about working up together on a cool collaboration
Yeah.
project. It's you know, but back in the day, I worked for Chase in his living room,
Yeah.
and we were making wiring harnesses. Me and Chase were just plugging down stuff, pulling stuff over our kitchen counter, and yeah, I remember we used to have to ask for every single plug. We needed like a core
Yeah.
harness,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just people sending in stuff that like I feel like they pooped in a Ziploc bag when they sent the harness to us, and we have it sitting around in our house. But the going back to the is it who you know
Yeah.
or what you know? Um, yeah, it's who you know and how you retain that relationship.
Yeah.
What your actions are during that relationship, and a lot of people say, oh, it's a small. And no, it really, it truly is a small
Yeah.
world. And so, if you go through life with that mentality, of course you're going to respect people around you, and of course that's going to come back and reflect in your future.
Definitely, man. And just for us having this conversation, I guarantee most people watching this didn't even connect A to B with you and I even knowing each other.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, you're one of my old time homies, and yeah, it stems back to I don't know. I honestly don't know how I met you,
Yeah.
and I couldn't. I would going to say maybe Import
I would say
Alliance, but I
so.
don't think it was that. I would maybe say Import
Yeah, I would say so. I
Alliance.
think
I don't know.
my first ever Import Alliance was 2010, and that was Summer Meet 2010,
Okay.
and that's pretty much when I met everybody. Because before then, the only person that I knew from down south or the East Coast or what have you was Bon, because he worked with Chase, and Chase lived in Woodland Hills, and I
Yeah.
got to meet
Yeah.
Chase in 2009 from one of my buddies, Guillermo. You know Guillermo, GPR Auto.
Guillermo.
So
Yeah.
that's how I ended up.
Yeah. I know.
I
Yeah.
met Chase through him. I met Bond through him. Bond and I really connected, and he was kind of my connection. Like, hey, you got to come out to the show, Import Alliance. And when I went out there for that weekend, that's when I made so many connections. And I guarantee that that's when you and I actually connected. And yeah, man,
Yeah.
it's been a
I
journey.
think it makes sense. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. And it's been one hell of a one. I've said it like a couple times. Like if I was erased from the earth tomorrow, I'd be a happy guy because yeah, there's times like we've spent together that made who I am today. Like I know I'm one of those people where like I got no regrets.
Yeah,
I got no
yeah.
regrets. All the bad stuff that's happened to me in life, it's helped transform me into who I am today. I've got no regrets.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it, man.
Yeah.
So who is Gregg today? I want to catch up with you,
Who is
bro,
Gregg
because we
today?
haven't talked. We haven't talked
Oh
for a long
man,
time. In a long time.
we haven't talked. Uh, Hi, I'm Greg. So yeah, I started out in the industry working for S3 magazine. I was a writer. Had no idea how to write or what I was writing about. They were the most obscene articles in the world. But I started out with S3 magazine. I found out halfway through then that selling ads was kind of how magazines
Yeah.
stay alive, and we needed somebody to sell ads. I was the guy. Started selling ads, started doing pretty good at it. So I kind of nestled in the industry kind of into, I guess you'd say marketing, best
Gotcha.
way. My career advanced moved on a bit, had the opportunity to work with some great people like Chase Face, ended up at Juku Racing and started really falling into drifting pretty heavily right around then. I would say right around when I started with Juku, I was like head over heels into drifting.
Got you.
At this point, I was traveling with Formula Drift. Had a roommate, Nate Hamilton, who's a current driver. He's an FD driver. He's great guy. And from there, linked up with the guys at Grid Life, which is how I met you most recently,
Yeah.
and started doing some marketing. Working with partnerships, stuff like that over at Grid Life, which those dudes are a bunch of
Yeah.
geniuses. I'm sure you. I mean, you went to the event.
Yeah. Chris is a great guy, man.
It's something else. Chris is an amazing guy. Yeah, very kind guy, but he's literally changing the automotive. What would you call that? Like an automotive on-site activation specialist. Like it's not a concert. It's not a auto racing event. It's not a car show. It's kind of
It's
just
Grid
everything
Life.
thrown at you. It's
Yeah.
Grid Life. It's Grid Life. He's a genius. But and then also I get to run the front at a place called KoruWorks, where I'm currently at, which is again it's an import performance based shop, focusing on JDM drifting.
Gotcha.
We really focus in and hone in on Nissan, Toyota. We've actually started messing around with Honda stuff.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you're familiar, the K series is king and it's starting to bleed over into our industry.
Okay.
We knew the K series was king a long time ago, but we're just starting to see it.
I love it.
Like that engine is badass.
I love it, man.
That engine.
There's so much to unpack here, bro. So you're a big name in the drift community, right?
No, not at all. No.
Come on, bro.
No, I am fortunate enough to have a lot of friends in the drifting community. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Absolutely. I've got to run a Formula Drift team, which is awesome. We've run an FD team for the past few years now, from Pro 2 to Pro 1, with my buddy Ryan Littoral. So I've got to also do that aspect of motorsports, which was managing a team, booking Airbnbs, and making dinner appointments and stuff. It's actually really easy. Anybody can run a racing team. Yeah, just make sure everybody's happy. And from there, now I have this great opportunity to run the storefront of what KoruWorks looks like, and starting to expand upon like products and product development, and seeing what flows, what's a good vibe for a shop and employees, which I'm sure you're familiar with. How do you create a good environment with your employees where Monday, their alarm goes off at 8 a.m. and they're stoked? How do you create that environment? How do you maintain that environment? That's probably the key aspect, and what I see is running a successful business.
Got you. So where are you guys located at?
We're right outside Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Just north of Atlanta. So a couple blocks away from the new Brave Stadium in Marietta, Georgia.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it's kind of, we're right on that, like, I don't know. It's pretty white around here. It's real cozy. We got like a little town square and stuff. It's a real cool neighborhood.
Do you still get trap music?
Do we still get trap music? Come on, bud. I mean, I just said we were a little north of Atlanta, like just like a little.
All right, good.
No, we have great hot wings and some of the best music in the world. Absolutely,
dude. Thinking back about Atlanta, I think the first time they ever went to Vortex was with you.
Oh, we went to the Vortex.
Big ass burger.
Yeah.
The heart attack burger.
You had it's like this double pie pass.
Yeah, that one.
Past surgery burger. Boy, I loved it. You were such a tourist. I loved it. He comes in, he goes, "What's the gnarliest burger?" It's like a menu of all kinds of weird burgers, peanut butter jelly burger, donut burger, whatever. We've seen them all. And they're like, "Well, we got this like triple bypass burger thing." And they're like, "All right, go on." And instead of bread, it's grilled cheese sandwiches. Yeah. I think it's like 3 meat patties and like 8 things of cheese and bacon and an egg.
I ate the corner of it, and that's
like,
it.
Why are you're mixing breakfast with dinner? And oh, Jesus Christ. The boy ate the whole thing. Yeah. If anybody's wondering, like he ate the whole damn thing.
Good times, man. That first trip, dude, who we were hanging out with as well was Sean Bradford, and he was the one that shot my car for S3. So I think that's how everything came together.
That's another thing. Do you remember, anybody in Atlanta will know this place. Do you remember when we went across the street and there was a shoe store where we went downstairs?
Yeah. Wish.
Like a library full of shoes. Wish. Fun story. Tyler Clayton, the owner of KoruWorks, his wife owns Wish.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it always has. It's just, again, kind of small world scenarios. But yeah, so that Wish style kind of gets influenced as well over here. I love it,
dude. Man, I gotta check it out one day, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah.
When I was in Atlanta cool. For Grid Life last summer, we went over to Wish, and it was my cousin and I, and we're just walking around, and automatically, "Hey, what's up, guys? Where are you guys from? California?" We're like, yeah. How the fuck did you know?
You smell like California. Look at you. You are California.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
I love it though, man. Hell yeah,
straighten my brim out some more.
But yeah, man, I like to touch on these old stories, bro, because I want people to know that us in the car community, there's much more to it than tunes and horsepower and going to shows and set up vendor booths. Like, the best parts about it are the things that happen afterwards, you know.
100%.
I was just talking the other day on Instagram Live. I like to get high late at night and just talk about old stories and kind of cry inside and reminisce. And
oh, I remember back in my day.
And we were reminiscing about Import Alliance Summer Meet 2011, the last time that it was at La Quinta, when just all hell broke loose. I think everybody was just on bath salts. And
I remember Sticky Diljo, I think.
Yeah. It was that
Joey
time.
Lee came out. And I remember, like, I didn't really know Joey Lee that much. Like whatever, it's Joey, you know? And so, like, I remember walking up at the La Quinta, and I was like, so what do you think?
Yeah.
You know? And he's like, man. he was like, not so.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's a different mentality in Nashville, Tennessee, compared to, if that was going on in Southern California, it would have been on the news. And they're like, there is street racing going on. People are throwing bottles off of balconies at girls walking on. I remember and the cops watching. Yeah. So there was street racing going on the on-ramp. Yeah. And the hotel overlooked the on-ramp, you know, basic highway system, hotels lined up across. And so they would line them up too wide on the on-ramp. And you'd have, I don't know, 200, 300 rooms overlooking the highway. And we were just watching drag racing all day with the cops.
You know what's so funny about cops being there?
The on-ramp was right around the corner. They just needed to put their car in drive, and they could have pulled nobody got pulled over.
Dude.
Not a single person got pulled over.
I don't know if you remember this, dude. The whole parking lot's full. The cops are coming through, so the people are kind of moving out of the way so the cops could drive through. So the cops going through the parking lot slow, and this fucking guy, I don't know who he is. Guys, if you remember this story, find this dude. I want to send him a free t-shirt. He did the fucking worm right in front of the cop car.
Okay. So this is the year. So I'm gonna throw his name out there. I don't think he fucks with Hondas no more. But you remember Nick Weir, Scenic Crew?
Yeah.
Nick Weir, Scenic Crew, one of the gnarliest Volkswagens.
Hell
ever
yeah!
built,
Shout out
period.
to Nick.
It's a Volkswagen truck, K series swap. I think does it run your bolts?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Bolts. Runs your bolts. Cops finally break it up at like 2 a.m. Yeah. I don't know, right? Nick doesn't want it to stop. So what does he do? He calls a limo. And we all pile in the limo and drive around the hotel parking lot for 2 hours.
Oh, dude.
So the cops couldn't kick us out, but we still got the party in the parking lot.
That's so funny,
so
dude.
We're hanging out the limo, drinking and shit. Like, that was early in Portland.
I was just talking about that too, because I was in my room and I looked down and I was like, hey guys, wait for me. And I'm just running down the stairs. I didn't even want to wait for the elevator. And there's fire everywhere. There's smoke. There's fire extinguishers. And the alarm's going off and I'm running. I go out to the parking lot. You see bottles flying and shit. We're like, what is going on? This is awesome.
It was Armageddon. Armageddon at La Quinta.
So good.
And, but that was, again, like, nowadays, like, do you think it would hurt your reputation if you hung around environments like that? Do you almost have to think that
I've kind of made my reputation where I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, you know? and it's kind of subconsciously I did it from the beginning, you know, just with the way that I would my online personality would be, you know, the drug picture that we did. That's like one of the most famous pictures out there.
The ad.
The ad, you know, that was the first time it was in S3. And just, you know, being very outspoken and just growing in front of everybody. So I feel like if you're able to judge me, you have to know where I come from. You not have to know who I am, you know? So, I wouldn't mind going to something like that. I would be there to this day, and I would just be tripping out. Now, would I be throwing things off a balcony? No, probably not, you know, but I would definitely be in there. I'll suck up the energy, dude. I love that kind of shit.
Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. There's current situations nowadays where I have to look at myself and go, who's looking? Yeah. Who's watching?
No, you know? I understand that.
But I think that more reflects is like, also, I've never wanted to be like that drunk guy at the Christmas party. If that makes sense. I don't want to be that guy. I never want to be that guy.
Well, I'm glad that you bring that up, man, because that was one of my motivations to stop drinking. Was Import Alliance 2010. That was the first time that I ever flew out to have a vendor booth. Went out there, set up booth, and got completely shit faced. And the next day, had to go wake up in the morning with the guys banging on my door. All the PGK guys, Jay and everybody, come on, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Get to the show, feeling like dog shit, and having everybody coming up to me, telling me how rad the night was, what I did,
and
I'm like,
oh yeah, telling you what you did.
Yeah,
that's the best and night. Yeah, thanks.
The biggest thing that stands out is Sean Bradford, his girlfriend at the time. I told her in front of him that I want to dance with her like they danced in the Titanic.
Sean Bradford's a fucking angel.
And he did get mad.
I was one of Sean Bradford's groomsmen.
He's the greatest dude ever, dude.
Oh, what a trooper.
Oh,
what an absolute trooper.
I'm hitting on his girlfriend, and they both came to the booth the next day to laugh about it. And I'm like, oh, man, if I'm trying to start a business, this is probably not something that I should be doing,
I mean, debatable. Yeah. It's okay. They didn't work out. If I remember, they didn't work out. The next girlfriend's an angel.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that girl didn't work out. I think that's Ethan's girlfriend now.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't know.
You know how it goes down south, bro. Everybody just you don't have them. You just have a turn,
and that's it. World. It's even small world when you start dealing with this. Absolutely.
All right, Greg. So let's jump back into it, bro. Before or when we met, you were a Honda dude. And I remember you were building this sick EK with like alien technology and things from the future that you were implementing into the build, dude. Tell me about that, and tell me how that transitioned to where you're at today.
So back in the day, I got this really cool EK. It was a white EK, but it was like perfect. A CTR swap in it. It was like wire tucked and everything. It was great. It was a great car. But then I started working with like Chase Base and started learning like your level of what wire tuck was. I remember going out to like one of my first iBox, and I was like, okay, this isn't wire tucking. This is like engine tucking. Like, how does this car even work? And I was like, all right, what's the next step? So good buddy of mine, Bucky, Superstar Customs, we pull a car into his garage, and we said, all right, let's take a left-hand drive and a right-hand drive firewall, cut them in half, and put both of the, I guess you would say, non-steering side, the passenger sides together. Gotcha. So we did 2 passenger sides, moved all the brakes and everything, did a pedal assembly inside the car, and moved the engine. I remember we did engine and trans mounts underneath the frame only. So there was Derek, all in fabrication, made me some one-off engine mounts. And I made an elongated engine harness that ran down the outside. I think it was like outside fender well, into the cold air intake, and dumped out underneath the intake manifold and started going out there. So it was like this gnarly car that I was like, this is going to be the dopest shit ever. And then I bought a 240SX as a daily. And I never finished that car. So this car was really kind of starting to test me. It was when you start shaving and tucking, everything becomes tedious. You're just day in and day out, everything becomes sanding. You're just sanding this engine bay for weeks on end. And I got this 240 as a daily. And so I started like slapping little things on it. And I remember the day I didn't want anything to do with Hondas anymore. And I put a body kit on my 240, and I was like, sick. This is so sick. And I go and I pull out the driveway, and I drag the front bumper, and it just breaks off the corners of the front bumper. They're just flying. I'm in the car, and 2 things go flying off the front of the car. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And my homies are like, your new front bumper, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like kind of wigging out. And they're like, it's going to happen, bro. It's a drift car. And there was like this weird mentality of like, they come over with zip ties that they had in their car. They're like, all right, you're good. Like, what do you mean? And like, no, this car's meant to be used, bud. And I came from the Honda world where like, if you had a BYS EK front bumper and you hit something with it, it will ruin your month.
Yeah.
You know, and that was, I was coming off of this engine bay that I had been sanding for months and months on end, and I wasn't even close to ready to even get this car cranked up. And I said, you know, I think the drift community is more the immediate gratification type community.
Got you.
Just kind of bugger everything together. Let's go drive it. And that just fit my personality more. It was because when we were doing Honda stuff back in the day, everything started becoming much more meticulous. It was who's the next person. We were all doing the same shit. AM7 crew had been doing wire tucking since 2000, you know? So that was nothing new. So then it started becoming the meticulous stuff. Who's going to be the person that does more meticulous crap? You have these guys running basically stock B series, but doing coil on plug setups, like conversions with standalones. Like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
This car doesn't race. Like, you know, refinishing wheels, and you got Hey Mikey with an Integra putting 15 by 15s on his car. Why are you doing that?
That's
Harlequin engine bay and stuff. It's just like, but it's like all that stuff, like to be seen and to get featured. You saw you had a lime green engine bay. Your engine bay, you've had the most ridiculous engine bays out there. Some of the cleanest cars. It's the meticulousness. And I started to find out that that's not my way of how I wanted to build my cars.
I feel you.
I wanted to build something that looked good, use it, abuse it, maintain it.
I feel you. That's so funny you mentioned Mikey, because he's actually here right now. He's in the showroom right now. With my our new employee, new member of Downstar is RC from RC's Garage. Yeah. So he just moved from Phoenix.
Wait a second. So your new employee is one of the guys that I really looked up to in the Honda community back on the day.
Me too.
Wow. And you, dude. Yeah, no, RC has built multiple of probably the gnarliest Hondas that I've ever existed.
Yeah, the last one that he did was a cover of Super Street Honda issue maybe like 2 years ago, that blue EM1.
Yeah, the blue M1. Yeah. So you got cover on that car.
It's crazy,
man. I mean, to have a super street cover car, let alone be a Honda, an old ass Honda, it's not a new Supra or anything like that. That's
definitely tight. Man.
Yo, congrats on your.
Thank you, bro. I'm super excited. 2021 is going to be an awesome year. 2020 hasn't been that bad for us. I'm very blessed how things have been, but I'm kind of writing off all of 2020. I don't think that nobody's going to look back at this and hold anybody to anything that happened in 2020. You're going to be able to say like, it was 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the banks are like, it's 2020. What do you, you're the bank. Like, you're writing off this year? Like, the stock market's like, it's 2020.
It was summer vacation. It was summer vacation for everybody. Right. Whatever.
Sports.
But back to the Honda.
Yeah, we'll run F1. Just nobody can come. Yeah, we'll run it. Nobody's invited. Like, why? Why even? Why?
Hey, that's a whole different. That's a different podcast. That's for my conspiracy podcast. That's for Patreon only that I want to start soon.
You want to talk about some aliens?
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Dude, have you ever had an experience with aliens?
I have never had experience with aliens, but with reputable sources that have had experiences with whatever you want to call a ghost.
Really? Like how deep?
Oh yeah.
Like they fucked?
Oh yeah. Like 6 of our homies, like me and you, like people we know, had an experience. Yep.
Dude.
Yep.
Dude, for real, bro?
I got like a 10% warning on my phone. I'm going to walk and talk over to this toolbox over here. That's a good phone charger in it, because like we're about to get on to ghosts.
Bro, I've really been...
Okay. Well, this is one conversation I do know about. I don't know shit about cars, but I know everything about ghosts.
I've been wanting to have a podcast with somebody who's had experiences, and if it's not long enough to do like a whole hour and a half, I want to break it up in like 4 different people so I could hear like a few different people's stories and their accounts. But dude, I'm way more interested in that than I am in cars, for sure.
Let me tell you. Okay, so do you remember Brandon Loggins? It was like EJ6, I think was the screen name, and like he used to hang out with like all of us. There was Robert Billings.
Okay.
Robert Billings had a really cool car. I think it was like Justin Smoke. Anyways, like a lot of the dudes in the Southeast who were really big into Hondas. Remember the old townhouse we had? You stayed at a couple times. Well, up the street from this townhouse, there is a church. It's called Hell's Church. Kind of funny, but there's this church. There's no crosses there. There's no Bibles. There's nothing like that there. It's at the dead end street. It's strongly connected to KKK meetings. Very, very old. It was burned, I forget, I think it was like in the 80s because of its relationship to KKK meetings and such. But we all go there just because we're young and dumb. This is what you do. We all pile in my four-door car. 5 or 6 of us in there just looking for trouble. And back behind the church, my buddy goes, "Hey, you ever been to the baptismal pool?" Absolutely not. Let's go check it out. And we start walking down the hill, and it's about a quarter mile down the hill, and it just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right at all. But it's not supposed to feel right. That's why we're there. So we kind of ignore the feeling, and my friend Brandon kind of gets a little bit more brave, I guess, than all of us. And now he says, "I'm going to go down into the baptismal pool. I'm going to walk." We all stay up top. And about right when he gets to the bottom, we hear screaming, but not like screaming coming from the woods. It was like a 360 screaming all around us. Like one person, but 100 of them. And one of the loudest noises I've ever heard. Like it wasn't human. And we all run. Now I want to tell you, like, some of us are like 23 during this. Like, we're not little kids. This is not like we start running back that quarter mile away from that baptismal pool, get into my car, and the car doesn't start. This is a basically brand new car. Car doesn't start, right? Whatever. We modify our cars. Let's blame it on coincidence. There's whatever it was. If we were racing there and, map was out, whatever it was. Car finally starts. We continue on. We get back to this townhouse that you've been to. And as we walk in, all the TVs are on. All the stereos are on. The TVs are just on fuzz, and the stereos are blasting. Just blasting. Nobody's at the house. We all left to go do this little trip. I don't know.
No fucking way.
I don't know. I can't explain it. I cannot explain it. And do I believe in God? I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in heaven and hell. That is, if you do, that is totally up to you. And I respect that. As I expect the same that you respect me. Don't really believe in heaven and hell. So, but there's a situation now where I have to question, what do I believe?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's insane, man. I don't believe in heaven and hell as a physical place. I'm not a religious person at all. I do feel things, and I feel when things are right, and I feel when things are wrong, and I don't know what to call that. I don't know what to call it. I don't intuition. I don't know, but who knows what the hell that is? Who knows what any of this is? You know what I was thinking earlier?
Who knows what is this?
I was thinking like, you are you, like your soul. Your person who talks, whatever you're thinking, that's you. But your body, your face, everything, that's not you. That's like just something that you're in right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
so what is a conscience?
Exactly.
Are you truly breathing? Are you truly blinking? Are we truly having this conversation? Is something else in us? It's a simulation theory, which I love going over. Parallel universe is kind of how I believe in my ghost. My way of justifying that experience is a parallel universe. Maybe something reaching out to us, maybe a different moment, or not a period in time, but maybe a different advancement in time, I guess you would say, interfering with us, whatever it is. You should start that podcast, because I could go on for hours.
Dude,
do you want to talk about like cool cars behind me, or you want to talk about ghosts?
I want to talk about parallel universe. So, are you familiar with, I'm sure you are, the Mandela effect?
Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Go on.
if you guys aren't familiar with Mandela effect, the name comes from when they thought there's a large portion of the population that believes Nelson Mandela died in jail, but in this universe that we're in, he died 2011 or something like that, not that
Something like that.
long ago. And then there's like the Berenstain Bear kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Berenstain. Yeah.
I feel like there's some sort of shift that would happen that would bump us into a universe that's relatively close to ours. And that's funny that you bring that up, because that's honestly how I feel like what's happening right now. I feel like we're in a different sort of universe come 2020, because there's so much crazy shit that's going on, and it's hard to comprehend the things that are happening right now.
Right.
And
It's true.
yeah, dude, I feel like something weird
It's true.
happened to knock us into this.
It's yes, like a shift. Like again, like I think maybe Ghost might be kind of like string theory, a parallel universe. Might be another person walking right in front of you, but in another dimension.
Yeah.
That's now interfering with ours. And since we relate so heavily on religion, we say it's a ghost or heaven or hell, somebody that hasn't gone there. And it's kind of funny, because why are we as humans so fixated on ghosts being a heaven and hell scenario and not like a scientific scenario?
Yeah.
Why are we saying these are people that are kind of sitting and waiting to go to either a higher or lower universe? Like, why haven't we said, okay, well, there's so many experiences that people have that have been tested before. I mean, there's TV shows, reality TV shows, but I think there's truly, I don't know, man. Coincidence is kind of a big thing in my life.
Yeah.
Coincidence that and what actually happens as coincidence is sometimes can transfer over. I don't know. I'm rambling now, but
no, you're definitely onto something, man. I think that us as humans, we have to figure out what something is. We have to be able to explain it, and it has to make sense. But I feel like there's so many things that we don't have the capability of making sense of. You and I have relatively the body structure as somebody had in the early 1900s, the late 1800s, right? They're relatively the same sort of human. But if you were to put that human today in 2020, they wouldn't be able to comprehend a cell phone. So
No.
how are we able
No.
to comprehend things that we can't understand? Which, what if it is a ghost? Or what if it is like in the movie Interstellar, where it's just, universes crossing over and something happened where it's accidentally you seen somebody that you shouldn't have seen. And
Right. It's so yeah, the actual crossover of that's I love that you're bringing this stuff up. It's I don't know. I don't think any of us.
Yeah,
do.
I think that's the
I think
great thing.
we're on to like really. A lot of people are kind of getting close to it. My girlfriend was showing me. I forget what it was called, but it was something where there was basically like two lines cut into a box, and then lights particles started splattering. I guess like I forget the name of it. God, I wish I was smarter about this fact. But yeah, it's basically them on the cups of a parallel universe experiment.
Yeah.
I guess you would say.
Yeah, man, but
like,
bro, I'm into all this shit.
exciting.
Especially everything that's going on right now. My conspiracy brain is fucking nutting 24/7, dude.
Well, I mean, what are we doing? We're sitting around, we're watching documentaries. Of course, some of these documentaries, like, and now we're living in a world where we're preached to about fake news. So now you're testing the information that you're looking into, and now you have to test the information that you're eating. Are you regurgitating like the truth or just like fake news? So now we're so used to almost being told that we're being lied to. How far do you want to go?
Definitely.
How far do you want to push the factoids of saying, okay, I was lied to, about what? About 9/11? Do you want to push like scenarios where they've almost definitely been disproven, but you have stuff like Sandy Hook? Like there's, I think, still firm believers that people think that Sandy Hook didn't happen, or portions of gun control, things like that. And I'm not saying it's justifiable, but it almost is, because we're being told by our leader Again, I'm not a Republican or Democrat, just literally speaking off of facts. We're being told by our president that there's things called
Yeah.
fake news.
And we weren't told that before. You know, if there was something that happened, I would just send an article from CNN and say, but it's right there. What else do you want me to do?
Right there.
But this situation that we're in causes us to be, if you want to be that kind of person, if you want to put off information, you have to do your due diligence. And CNN and NBC, that's not enough information.
Yeah.
You have to dive even deeper. And shit, I was just having this conversation earlier because the transcripts from the Ghislaine Maxwell trial is coming out. And there's a lot of crazy stuff in there. And there's stuff about Bill Clinton in there. And I said, okay, guys, forget everything. I'm not trying to tell you what to think. Okay. This dude said he's never been to the island. Which island? Epstein's Island.
Right.
What is the island called?
Right.
Pedophile Island. Okay. He's never been there. Okay. This transcript came out that proves that he was there. A president of the United States.
On top of all of the other, they were calling it uncredible information. Yeah. But yes, we had information that he was there. So now we have,
it's proven he was there.
This person there.
We'll leave it at that. Leave it at that.
Cool.
Ex-president of the United States was at Pedophile Island. Whatever you want to make out of that, go ahead. That's fact now. But if that raises some flags in your head, that's a red flag. Okay, who's his wife? Did his wife know about things? What's going to happen if, if the I don't even want to say Democrats or Republicans, because that's such a huge blanket to put on everybody. I'm just talking about these people specifically. Did Hillary have anything to do?
I would just say the people in office.
Exactly. Did she know? Okay, everybody, we're going to take a quick break for our sponsors, and we'll be back in 1 minute. Hilto Automotive has been a supporter of Downtime with Downstar for quite some time now, and we know that they're in your corner, that they got your back, whether you're under a car or you just need some help. No matter your race, creed, engine platform preference, that motto stands true. Accord, Civic, S2000, any Honda, any customer, anywhere in the world, with equal respectful treatment for all. We at Downtime with Downstar share these values, and as a special gift to Downtime listeners, they are giving you guys a special deal. Using the Let's Deal function at the top of HeelToeAuto.com, you'll find an option to request a special quote. Submit a special quote using the key phrase, "I'm down with Downstar." Once again, the key phrase is, "I'm down with Downstar," for a special deal on whatever you're shopping for. And of course, if you need any help, Marcus from Heel Toe is available by call, text, email to help out. Heel Toe wishes you guys a happy, healthy, and safe 2020. So I know a lot of you guys are questioning, what is this whole cult thing that's going on? Well, we at Downstar are starting our own cult. What is it? Are you going to have to drink punch? Are we going to sleep with your wives? No, none of that yet. But what it is a direct number to us, meaning me, Frank Downstar. I'm the one that's answering the text. So please, right now, text us. 818-403-3473. You're just going to have to follow a couple simple steps, get added to your contacts, and text us. Let us know what you're thinking of the episode so far. If you guys have any questions, anything like that, anything, even want to talk about life, man, just shoot us a text. We're here to help you guys out, and we're here to have some fun, man. And that's what the cult's about. So come join the cult. 818-403-3473. No charges. We're not going to be selling your info. No bullshit like that, guys. Just straight up fun. So make sure you guys shoot us a text right now. 818-403-3473. And enjoy the rest of the episode. Have a good day.
I would say the more powerful 1%, actually. Because a lot of these people that I'm sure were there are not political in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. But it is this. It's another type of person, Frank. Like these. There's people like you and I. There's people like this. There's people like that, and then there's people like this. Like they don't think like us. They don't operate like us. They don't work like us. They're not. I mean, like, I'm not saying they're lizard people, but they're like lizard people. They're not. Their way of life is not like ours. I mean, we watched a documentary just recently on Lady Gaga. She's an angel. love her as an artist. She's everything. But there was a comment in there where they were almost proud of her for shopping and checking out her own order at Walmart. Like, what do you, like, that's a thing?
Yeah.
Like, you even have to kind of think like that or comment on it, or, you know, that's not the life that you and I live.
Yeah,
right?
no, definitely.
And I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but their mentality is completely swayed. But do you think that their mentality is so skewed that island is almost normal to them, like almost justifiable?
I think that they have way more life experiences than we'll ever have in 10 lives in their one life. They accomplish so much in one day. And when I say accomplish, that's positive or negative, however you want to take it.
Right.
But they've just seen so many different things. So who knows what they know? Who knows if they know alien technology, you know, the reptiles, inner earth? Who fucking knows? You know, this is me just being excited that hopefully this stuff exists. But what if it really does, and these people know, and they just understand that, like, yo, the rest of the world is just their children, and we're gonna do whatever the hell we want to do because we know after this life, it resets. We go to another universe, or our consciousness lives in somebody else, or whatever it is. What if they know something that we don't know, and they're just living life like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna do anything, whatever I want to do.
Like, they know this is simulation theory, and they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to this shitty ass island.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm gonna die, and then it resets.
What would you do?
But they know
what would you do if you lived in the Matrix and you knew you lived in the Matrix? I would speed and crash cars and steal things and eat pizza every single day.
When you log into Grand Theft Auto, are you staying in your lane? Like, when you know that this shit is a game, you play it like a game. But this is real life. This is real. You think this shit is a game? This is real. This is real life. I chose to buy this.
Yeah, man. So
I don't know, man. It's God, we can go on to that for like hours.
Yeah, dude.
That was one of my favorite things about actually when I got asked to be on your podcast, and we talked about it, was you know, right now I'm at work. You know, it's after hours, and I've been talking cars all day with customers, friends, clients, and it's one thing where, you know, when you get off work and you're going to talk more about cars, but it's another thing when you know that you're going to talk, I'm talking to you, and I get to talk about
life,
whatever the
dude.
fuck we want to, honestly.
Fuck yeah, man.
Life. You talk to all types of walks of life, of entertainment, and people of all types of jobs. And so it's really exciting, actually, to get featured on. I was looking at some of your guests, and right before we went live, I'd go, yo, who are these people?
Yeah.
What do they do? Tell me about these people.
Yeah.
Not car people at all, but, you know, somebody with a different mindset, somebody with a different personality.
You know how I see it, dude? You know, they always say knowledge is power. The podcast, we do have a sponsor, which is Heel Toe Automotive. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Heel Toe. They've been around since 2002, man. But other than them, and we've had them maybe for like 20 or 30 episodes out of 188, everything we've done was just, you know, off the strength. We're not getting paid for this. Yeah. We're not really getting that many views or anything like that. But the payment that I get from this is being able to throw around ideas with a person like yourself. Maybe you can say something that sparks something in my head. I'm like, dude, you're right. And then I go home and research something, and, you know, I figure out why we're living, you know, or whatever it is, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Tell me more.
I get to talk to people like you're asking about our last guest, that's Jordan Bo Harris, and he's actually the security for Logic, you know, and that guy's from Oxnard, like right down the street from me. So I'm just like, if this guy from Oxnard is able to get a career where he's Logic's security guard, Logic is arguably, you know, one of in the top tier of hip hop artists. Absolutely. You know, and it's just like, that's so crazy, man. So I get to pick his brain. How'd you get there? And then I could talk to, you know, Papadakis. I could talk, how'd you get there? I could talk to anybody and figure out how they did whatever they do. And that's my payment for the podcast, because I'm gaining all of this knowledge that I would have never gained if I just didn't think about doing the podcast.
It's true. It's true. There's a show I'm sure you'd love if you haven't seen it. Have you seen Hate Thy Neighbor?
Mm,
It's a Vice
no.
special. It's a Vice special. It's on Hulu. But Hate Thy Neighbor, he talks to people kind of like he'll talk to like white supremacists. He'll talk to just you ever just pass somebody on the street and they look absolutely insane. You're like, what the hell is that person think? He talks to those people,
Got you.
but not from I'm gonna sway your position. It's tell me about your
Yeah.
position and why you chose that path. And it's funny. It's got comedy and stuff in between, but that's so true. I mean, one of my favorite conversations I get to have when I get to have it is talking to my grandfather. And thank God he's still alive. And I just, whatever little memory he still has of his childhood, like the situations that he was in when he was our age, I can't even remotely relate. And this is somebody that's extremely close to me, but that's one of my favorite conversations is like, him saying, "Oh yeah, this is kind of like the Great Recession type stuff, the Great
Mm-hmm.
Depression." What?
Yeah.
Like go on. Why? How? What did like? What was it like?
Yeah.
What were these? He's talking about getting his first car. Do you remember a life where your family never had a car?
No.
Do you
No.
remember? No, not at all. And then I have one of my best friends that I get to work with, Sebastian, from Colombia, and I get to talk to him and go like, "Oh yeah, we get to talk about gun laws here." And he's like, "Yo, when I was growing up, they had explosions.
Wow.
Like that was the most common thing. Was not people being shot, people exploding in like car bombs.
Wow.
Like, but you get to talk to these people,
Yeah.
and it's how well do you listen almost."
Yeah.
So this show goes into that avenue, and I'd love for you to watch it. Anybody else listening, it's really empowering. Great show, again on Hulu. But what it relates to is like I almost like talking to people that I know nothing about what they do.
Yeah.
So like your boy Bo, I bet you that was a really good conversation.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It seems like a lot of people that I don't know much about that we end up just having the most craziest conversations just because they're not holding back and I don't have any prior judgments or anything. It's just like I really feel like I can sit down with anybody in the world and have an awesome conversation. And because you just need to know the right questions to ask to make people feel comfortable. And everybody wants to talk, man. Everybody wants to talk about their life and experiences and tell stories. I'm sure that telling the ghost story felt good for you to tell because you're like, hell yeah, this is one of the most exciting things that happened.
This in a while. Yeah, now I get to talk about ghosts on a podcast. This will be on the internet forever. Now I get to tell about that experience and it'll last forever. Bye, Seabass. Yeah, again, we're closing up at work, so a couple of guys are heading out. See you later, Ryan. Ooh, I got the shop to myself now.
Hell yeah. Hopefully there's no ghosts in there, dude.
I'm not going to work on any of this crap. Yeah, I'm not going to. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with these guys.
All right, man. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit back into the car stuff. So when you got the 240 and you were with your buddies and they kind of laughed at you because you had that Honda mentality, like my life is ruined, my bumper just broke, and then they just reached in and grabbed a pack of AutoZone zip ties colored and said, "Here, Greg, it's fixed now. Let's keep going." What was that experience like for you?
It was.
Was it freeing?
Yeah, like freeing. It was so weird. So I'm walking around. I'm getting another beer.
No worries.
If anybody's wondering. It was this scenario where I had to kind of look and go, what have I been doing up until this point? These cars that I've been building, again, these very meticulous cars. Was this like the path I actually wanted to be on? And up until then, I had never really tracked a car. I never put any of these Hondas on a racetrack. I've done highway pulls, whatever, but it was almost like I had these Hondas and I had a daily driver, but I never needed a daily driver. Yeah. They're basically stock engine little Civics. They're meant to last forever. And I started to put a car on track and I go, okay, this car does get used and abused. I was starting to hit cones and destroy the bumpers. I was seeing what they were saying, and it was weird. It was weird, and it still is weird. I remember driving down the highway, hitting something in the road, throws my rear bumper off, and a truck runs over it. And I laughed about it. I was on my way to work. I knew I couldn't pull over and collect it. It was just shredded everywhere. And I was just, I don't know why. Yeah. It was just but my Honda mentality was even if it was an OEM bumper, was how did that fall off? Why did it fall off? Was it not bolted correctly? Oh my God, this bumper is not going to match because I have a Phoenix yellow, whatever. It's going to be a different shade now. It's never going to look the same. No. Instead, I went the next day and I bought my buddy's other rear bumper that was completely a different color, spackled it back on there, and that was good for another 6 months. And that was it. It was such an easier mindset to me of what do I have to do to get this car back onto a track?
Yeah.
And it was different than the Import Alliance days. The iBox stuff was what am I going to do different for the next show? Am I going to run different wheels? I just had these wheels on for this last one. How am I going to spend in this off time, this off season? Am I going to finally do the K-Series swap? Meanwhile, none of these things really mean anything. Yeah. Realistically, it's all based off of a reaction from your peers.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same thing as drifting. It's a subjective sport. It's literally a subjective, okay, do your peers accept it?
Yeah.
And that's why I think the phrase haters and stuff like that in this industry, I love haters and all this other stuff. Well, do you really?
Yeah.
Do you really love haters? Or are you just doing what you're doing? If you have to point out I love haters, you're probably still looking for acceptance from your peers. Realistically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that. I think the 240 mentality was use it and abuse it. And I was coming off of the more, how are you going to build it? People were looking at the build technique, what parts did you use? How rare is this? And I love that industry. I was doing it for many years. But yeah, I had to question myself. Have you ever done that? Have you ever, did you ever get, I don't know, do you have a daily now? You have a pickup truck or something?
I have a M8. A BMW.
An M8? What the hell is that? That's a fancy car, Frank. You have a really nice
I'm a
car.
Beamer boy now.
Okay, well, I'm just you're a Beamer boy. But have you ever just been you know what, I'm just over it? You're literally, your business is how meticulous do you want to be with your build? Yeah. You want to be this meticulous to swap out your bolts to your specified colors? Holler at me. I'm your boy. And you've made a company off of that. I'm just now realizing as I'm saying it, the industry that we were in led us into what literally you're doing right now.
Yeah.
With people like RC.
Yeah, definitely. Me as a businessman, I understand the need for it and where the business fits into the community. Now, me as an enthusiast and a solo builder, I'm not going to lie, I haven't really had much motivation to build anything because there's really nobody that I feel like I need to compete with, and there's not a feeling that I that's out there that I don't think that I felt before. I think that I felt it all. I felt it bringing in a car, debuting a car, bringing in a car to an event across the country, East Coast to West Coast, showing off a new build, building up the hype and shit like that. I've done all that. So I want something else. Yeah. I want something more. And if you were to ask me today, you don't have any obligations, what would you want to do? I would want to focus all my attention on podcasting. That's what it would be. I want to be in the same talks as my favorite podcasters. I want to be people's favorite podcast. Yeah. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to produce. And I want to have conversations that people actually enjoy, because I feel like that's way deeper than, oh, Frank has a nice car. It's super clean. Yeah, but that doesn't define who I am. I guarantee people that just know me from the Honda community and then they'll listen to a podcast, their minds are going to be like, wait, what? What does he talk? What do you, aliens? Frank believes in aliens and what the fuck? But like, dude, that's me. This is who I am. Like, that car stuff just represents such a small part of who I am.
Correct. Yeah. Like if you want to visit back our first conversation, I know you as a hustler.
Yeah.
I know you as a hustler. Like, that's the type of person I want to talk to. That's the type of person I want to learn something from. Because, like, I never want to be stagnant. That's one of my fears in life, is to not know what my tomorrow looks like. You know, I love to be impulsive. I don't look at my timestamps. But I don't want to know what I'm going to do next in my life. I feel like I've already seen my future, and I've already taken those steps, and I'm not veering off a track. I'm not going left. I'm not going right. I'm straight on to my next task. And my fear is to be pulled left or right. As weird as that sounds. But I think in your case, me knowing you as a hustler, I mean, I just went on that trip with you. We never really hung out. And the next thing I know, we're in a car going to Las Vegas to spend a week together, going to SEMA. Like a life-changing scenario. And I didn't know what I was doing going to SEMA, but I knew exactly what I was doing hanging out with you.
Thank you, man.
You know?
Hell yeah.
Some of those conversations we had are still conversations that we have this time. And like, to the point of like, I remember your story about you making mixtapes and using that logo.
Yeah.
And I remember that. And that's a normal conversation, really. Really, a lot of people, you know, they you know, you may have told the story, they may not remember it, they may or not. But I remember like really taking that to heart.
Thank you, bro.
You know, what I think I got from that is you attached your name to a logo. You attached your name to a company. You made yourself a boy.
Yeah.
Like you were it. You know, like you know, yeah, there was, you know, the stuff you did in high school, but like you literally put yourself into an industry that didn't exist. All you did was do the math. You did the work that nobody else wanted to. This is the bolt you need for this. This is what you need. This is this. This is this. I consolidated it. I made it easy for you. I personalized it. Here you go.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, dude.
That's a hustle. How do you do that? How do you hustle something where it's? I remember looking at you and being like, bolts? And I know you got that look from other people. I know for a fact people go, you sell bolts, huh? Yeah, well, you know, like, well, what makes your bolts different? Yeah. Bolts have been around forever. There's bolts on aero. Are your aerospace bolts? Like, what makes your shit different? Not really a whole lot, except for I did the hard work. I did the homework. Here it is in a package. And you know what? People respected it, and they buy your package.
Yeah, you know what?
Now you've got it to where it's personalized, and now you've got it to where, you know, multiple applications and stuff. But back in the day, you just did the homework, bud. You made a product.
Thank you, bro. You know, you were saying earlier about, you know, would I be involved in something like the La Quinta Crazy Nights and things like that because of the brand? You know, Downstar, it's me. That represents me. So everything that Downstar is on is a representation of me, is things that I'm into. We have the skate line, Downstar Skate. That's because I love skating. Mm-hmm. You know, I have the podcast, Downtime with Downstar, because, you know, I love podcasting. So anything that I'm into, I'm just going to make a division of Downstar for that. Downstar Monarch Butterfly Collections or whatever. And if somebody says like, what do butterflies have to do with cars? I'm like, nothing. But what does it have to do with Downstar? That's me. This is what I'm into, and that's what some people don't understand. So it's not, how I look at things is I don't have to ask anybody for permission on anything, because the only thing stuff takes is money. And when you have to ask people for permission, that's because you'll need, you know, a loan from them, or you want them to be into your business. They want to have a percentage. So now it takes away some creativity. I'm 100% owner in Downstar. So I could do whatever the fuck I want to do, and that's extremely liberating. So if I want to go to a car show and they're doing some crazy shit and I'm right there, and somebody posts up and says, oh, look at this is a business owner, this is unprofessional, I was like, all right, whatever, don't buy from us then. You know, this is me. I don't want you.
That's not my...
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not my customer.
Yeah.
And, you know, so now kind of resorting to that situation, which is kind of funny. So you started out going to these car events, displaying your car, being one of the group of people, and how clicky, I guess, how many cliques there are in this industry, let alone like when you start separating Ford Mustangs with Jeeps and stuff. Let's not even go in there. Let's just narrow it down. Let's just say Honda scene, right? There is, I've never seen it before to this degree, but like you go to IBOC and this is the front side of the building and then there's the cars on the back side of the building. There's beautiful cars all around, but you start to see this like almost like fade of quality sometimes. And then you go to Import Alliance and you have this front row and then you kind of have everybody else. Now, as a business owner, I've come to find out, not me as a business owner, but like a lot of those dudes on the back lines are the guys buying our products. A lot of those dudes on the back lines are the ones that are hitting me up to swap out turbos or do manual swaps and stuff like that. A lot of the frontline guys are related to drifting now. I don't have Frederick Osbo or Von Gittin calling me for a hand.
Yeah.
I don't know, like in your scenario, if you have, Ryan Rywire going onto your website, clicking buy now, and then you're making a shipping label going, why didn't you just call me and stuff? There's this like gap. There's this gap. And it's really weird. I remember when I worked at Juku, there was this guy that works there, and his name's Hurt, and he does Hoonigan now. Hurt made such a big deal one day because one of his homies went onto Njuku and just bought the part. And he's like, he could have hit me up and I would have hooked him up. He knows I could have just brought it over to his house. Well, he made such a big deal about how much that meant to him. Like, he knows. When I see a homie go onto our website and buy like a t-shirt, full pop, dude, I throw in like 3 t-shirts in there. Like, that means so much to me that like they just want to support what we're doing here. And I remember that conversation. So like, to the front end, to the back end, you fuck with everybody in the front end of IBOC. Those are your boys. Those are your homies. You've known them for a while. You've grown through the sport with them. The people in the back are the dudes that are going to your website though and buying that stuff. Is that wild? It's kind of wild.
I've come to realize that most of this is just industry connections. Like we were talking, not what you know is who you know. So I understand that name of the game, but I'll treat the guy in the back with the same respect that I will in the front, and sometimes even more, because I see the innocence in their eyes. I see the person that I used to be, the person parked in the back of the IBOC meet, just happy to get a space. I see that, and I want to give them the best experience that I can. I've come to realize that everybody that I speak with, I want that conversation to be positive, and at the end of the day, for them to think like, wow, that was a good interaction that I had with that person, no matter who it is, And, at this stage in my career, there's nobody in the automotive community that I look to and need a cosign from or would want their approval or anything like that, because I've already seen how the pie is made, dude. I've seen how the magic is done, and there's not many people that I can relate to on the same level as myself who think the same way that I do, treat people the same way that I do, and think about this in any other way than just it's a car and we're trying to make the most power. And that's why I never wanted to make this automotive podcast, because that's the stuff that doesn't interest me. It makes 500 horsepower. That's cool. It makes 600. Okay, that's cool. It makes 1100. Okay, that's cool. Like, how cool can it get? 400 is fucking ultra cool. Why do I need to keep getting? What else do you do that's cool?
They're putting 2 K series in cars.
Yeah.
They're doing K series V8s and shit. Like,
bro.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Nothing surprises me anymore, dude.
Nothing surprises. No, and when people don't understand this, the first year we went to SEMA to like when we go to SEMA now, I don't really look at cars. I'm looking at the people. I'm wondering who I'm. Again, like when we even talked about SEMA, I didn't mention a car. I got to see this car that I looked up to. No, I got to eat dinner with the people that I wanted to be around. I got to eat dinner with these people where before there was vlogging, there was influencers in what they did, not who they are. It was influencers of like, man, I love seeing, you were one of them at the time. Like, man, this dude's just fucking bagging bolts and making a fucking hustle on it. He's got one of the coolest cars out there. I'd love to learn more from him. Rywire, this dude's out here is like busting ass on some of these builds. He's working with some of the big dogs. Like, I'd love to see how he does this. And like, it just progresses from there. There's like certain people in our industry, and I know you can agree on this. There's certain people in our industry that are respected 100% for their hustle. Papadakis. Point me out somebody that said something bad about Papadakis. They don't exist. Like, that dude is a record breaker. He's a hustler. He's a team leader. He goes from he's leading breaking records drag racing and says, I'm gonna go drift and I'm gonna manage the team. He's loyal to his sponsors. He's been with AEM for how long now? Forever. AEM, they love him. He's been with Rockstar forever. He gives every deliverable any sponsor ever wants. I love talking to him. I like listening
Definitely.
to him. And that's for you to have him on the show, I'm sure it was a very similar thing. You had so many questions planned that you had to ask this guy.
Yeah.
And so I could see where you say, if everything's taken away from me right now, what would I want to be doing? And it's talking to people. I could see why. With people like Papadakis, people like yourself,
Yeah.
Hell
and two, how I see things, man, if I see somebody else can do it, are you familiar with Adam 22?
No, who's
so Adam 22? Now he's a podcaster. He has shows on YouTube and such, but he started in the BMX community, and in the BMX community, he started a website, and that website focused on the culture of BMX. So he started a podcast in BMXing, and then started having some guests on that weren't into BMXing. And the one that really helped him, he always talks about it, the one that helped him get into the hip-hop community was he did a podcast with Xavier Wolf. Are you familiar with him? Hollow Squad. Yeah, so he did the podcast with Xavier Wolf, and that kind of stepped him into the hip-hop community. And now he's talked to the biggest names in the hip-hop community. So I see that as a physical lane that I can be in, because the automotive community is much larger than the BMX community. So if all I have to do is put in the work, and then maybe I could be sitting down with Chief Keef one day or something, like, that's my goal. I want to talk to people that I listen to their music, I watch their art, whatever it is, My sister, she put me on to this young YouTuber, and he's just talking about energy and, just all the crazy secret kind of shit and things that he says. It's very easy to digest because of the way that he puts it off. You could relate to this dude. So I'm just thinking, like, man, let me just reach out to this dude and I'll have him on the podcast. Why? He seems interesting. What does he have to do with cars? Nothing. This has nothing to do with cars. We're just talking to interesting people. And if the people that listen to this show appreciate that conversation, then it was the right move. So that's where I see myself going in the future, along with just keeping Downstar rolling as well.
But you're a talker. You're a talker. You're extremely personable. You're approachable. You've trained yourself almost to have a podcast. When I don't know if any of your listeners have ever worked a vendor booth before by themselves. Go ahead and do that, and you'll become a personable person real quick. You can't be grumpy working no, you got to be up at like 4 or 5 a.m. You got to pull out a tent and set up the legs. They always pinch your fingers and shit. Like, you got to rely on your homies as a booth car. Like, there's a lot. Let's not even talk about if you're going out of state. Now you have an investment. A company has to support you. Say, I'm going to spend $500 on a plane ticket, ship out my booth. You have stress. You have expectation on yourself of, I need to make XYZ amount of impressions. I need to sell X amount at this booth, at this display. I need to do what out here? Well, it's an on-site activation, homie. You're on-site. Yeah. You've got to maintain a personable smile on your face, approachable environment for these people to come in for your business to succeed. Here you are now doing a podcast.
Definitely.
Now you just got to focus on that one person. But again, you got to be ready. You got your desk. You got to set up your desk nice and right. You got to make sure the camera's still right. It's you were made for
Hell
this.
yeah, man. Hey, thank you, bro. I really appreciate it, dude. Fuck, it's so awesome to talk with you, Greg. This reminds me of like
Thanks, bud.
simpler times, you know.
Simpler times. That's funny. That's a funny conversation. I have that with people. What is simpler times to you? What is your simpler
Simpler times means least obligations. You know,
Yeah.
not to say that life was better back then, because there was definitely things that I would never change in my life now. But
Yeah.
you know, it was just not having anything to have to do. You know, okay, we go here, we go to this show, and then afterwards you do whatever the hell you want to do. If we're going to go back to Dino's house and have a fucking rager party, we're going to go do that.
We did that. That's what we did.
And
how am I going to get back to my hotel?
Yeah.
How am I going to get back to
But
home?
it's just...
Doesn't matter.
It's just life, man. We're just growing. How have you dealt with getting older?
Oh my god, my knees. First off, my knees are in so much pain. I got hip issues. I've got like 2 shoulder surgeries. No, physically, I'm falling apart. Mentally, I honestly am privileged enough to have grown mature in many different aspects, but like still just being a kid. Getting to play race car. Let's do this. Let's make the number one thing that makes me happy is the people I put myself around. Simple as that. I am happy because the people around me are happy. If I breathe in negativity from somebody else, I'm probably going to exhale.
Yeah.
It's kind of this weird scenario that I believe in. But yeah, positive influences, that's my friends around me, have helped me kind of be that same dude me and you used to hang out, like the same 16-year-old me. I keep my shirt on and my pants on more. I don't, make a fool of myself as much. But no, I still get to play race car. I get to go out there and spot a Formula Drift team and get paid for it. I get to do K-Series swaps on fun stuff with some of my best friends and ride bicycles and do all this stuff. Like, yeah, man, I didn't want to grow old. I wasn't ready for it. I'm still not ready for it. My body's not ready for it, but like mentally, like I feel like I'm going to be that weird 75-year-old that's getting made fun of because I'm wearing like the cool Air Jordans or whatever, like in the future. Yeah, I will be that guy that's listening to like modern hip hop at 75. Like I'm kind of excited.
I feel you on that one, bro. Definitely.
I mentally don't want to grow up. Is that a flaw?
No. I mean, the way that I think about it, dude, is when I think of a grown-up, I think is somebody who handles their responsibilities, and that's it. Anything other than that, I don't want it. If you're telling me to be a grown-up is to pay the bills that need to be paid, to be a good person, okay, cool. I'll take care of all that. But I want more on top of it. And if I want to go skate with my son at the skate park, I don't give a shit what the next 35-year-old thinks of me. Like, look at this guy. He's still skating. Yeah, you wish you could fucking be skating too, bro. Like,
watch me, bud. Yeah. I get to skate, and I have like a future plan for this little me, basically. Like, God, congratulations.
Thank
by
you,
the
brother.
way.
I appreciate it.
You look like you have an amazing wife.
Love it.
You look like you're extremely happy. It's for people who are watching this that don't know. We haven't really kind of reconnected much in like the past 10 years.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is huge for us. So congratulations.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
You
man.
look like you're extremely happy.
Oh, dude, I am, bro.
Like, from what I see.
I'm very happy with my family and just the way that life is going. But I always want more, and the more that I want isn't finances, isn't sales. I want more creativity. The more creative things that I can do and build, that's like that's happiness to me.
Just eating it up. It's funny. My senior quote was, "You always want what you don't have, and when you have it, it's never enough."
Definitely.
Yeah, and like the creativeness. You could be surrounded by some of the most creative people in your time. You could be in a shared workspace with artists, this, that, and the other. and you're going to want to go travel to France to go see what they got over there.
Yeah.
You're always going to want that.
Yeah, definitely.
You're always going
And
to want that.
that's always like the thing that I battle with is there's part of me that is always after more. I always want more, and then the other part of me has to be like, reel me in. Okay, while you want that more, you need to live in this moment, because most of my 20s I spent wanting more, going after more, but not living in the moments that I was in. So, as much as we talk about these events, Import Alliance or wherever we're going, most of the times I wasn't soaking in the experience itself because I was too busy worrying about sales. Did I sell enough? Did this? I got to be up in the morning. I got to go to sleep, and I got to do this. I got to do that. Worrying about all that shit, and it just builds so much anxiety inside of me that now that's the battle that I have is within. You need to just take it, experience this, take it in, experience this memory, because at the end of the day, bro, put me in the desert, take everything away from me. You can't take away my experiences. You can't take away my memory.
Right.
You could take everything away from me. But that's where I hold value at now, is these experiences. And, try to make them as vivid as possible so I can remember them when I'm 50 or so.
Right. I was going to say, so life goes by so quick now. So quick. And I've caught myself doing this a couple times now. And I have this question for you is there ever like a time recently in your life where you mentally go, right, remember this? Like you try to absorb the sound, the smell, the everything. There's like a situation. It could be a simple car ride where you're just happy, you're at your bliss. It could be you sitting down looking at your amazing kid or wife, and just like a situation, just a second. And you mentally talk yourself into remember this moment.
Yeah, I think that it was this past weekend we went to Lake Tahoe for my mom's birthday, and we were just all at the cabin outside at this table, and we're just all sitting there talking, and just thinking like, you know what, I have to soak this in, because this isn't going to happen as much as it did when I was younger. This is few and far between. I have to soak in this memory with everybody just smiling and laughing and having a good time, and no one's on their phone. Everybody's just eating junk food and, laughing, and you smell the air. You're in the wilderness.
Yeah.
That I was just like, dude, I have to soak this in, because there's a million other things that my attention could have gone to. Oh shit, I gotta answer this text. I gotta answer this email. Oh, what are we gonna do tomorrow? When are we gonna leave? What's the plan? I have to stop myself. Soak this in. Fuck all that stuff. Yeah. I have to just soak it in.
Yeah. It's hard to hit the brakes sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's hard. With lifestyle that we have now, I mean, even us having this conversation, I'm sure you have to think about, okay, what does my Monday look like? What does my 7 o'clock look like tonight, as on a professional level? The family stuff at home is easy. Like I love going home and playing a board game or just something, just like whatever it is, I get to feel those breaks start kicking in, because like in the lifestyle that we have, you have to stay relevant. Once you quit progressing, once you quit doing like what we're talking about, trying to stay relevant, you fall off. It could be anything, like these podcasts. It could be the skateboard. It could be this. It could be that. For you, but you've got to constantly change exactly what you're doing. And so with that, the momentum is sometimes hard to like just settle down.
Yeah, definitely, man. I feel like I'm not doing enough. That's the crazy thing.
Right.
I always feel like I'm not doing enough, but it's okay. I've been able to accept that. Because I'm not trying to be that person who wakes up at 5 a.m. and goes to sleep at 1 a.m. and just squeezes as much shit as they can into the day. Yeah, that's awesome. But with that comes getting burnt out, and I don't want to be burnt out, and it's maybe this is how I feel right now, because life is going to get even crazier in the near future just with everything happening. Yeah. I'm trying to soak in like the chill time, just not stressing out. And
it's the first start, I would say like March, April of when COVID hit. Again, it's a horrible thing going on. But me mentally, when it did hit, gave me time to hit those
Definitely.
brakes. I was forced
Definitely.
to. You were forced to. Everybody in the world was forced to kind of go, stop, assess the situation going on around you, and now assess yourself and how you're going to deal with the next few months. And I wouldn't want to say like I'm grateful for COVID at all or anything remotely to that. But recently there has been this period of time in my life where I had to slow down, and I am thankful for what I did in that period of time for myself. And yeah, when you're not working, when you find out that your race season is pretty much canceled, when you find out like your sponsors aren't working, there's nothing to drop ship, those companies aren't open, you don't have anything other to do than take care of yourself. What do you do with that time? Like I can't wait to see when this is all over, getting to talk to certain people and see how they spent their time. What did you do? What did you do with your downtime? How did you adapt? That's a conversation I can't wait to have with a lot of people. When this dust settles, I want to see those people that said, well, I hustled more, or I stopped, I reflected on myself. I started to focus in on The Secret, whatever it is. Do you believe in The Secret?
I've actually never read the book before, but I do believe in, the energy and I feel like whatever you want to call it, God, an entity or whatever, they can see the work that you're putting in, and they can see when you're bullshitting and when you're not doing it. And you know how you can tell. I can tell when I'm putting my full effort in. No matter how anybody else thinks about me, oh, you're hustling, you're doing this, you're doing that. I can tell if I am or not. So if I'm putting that energy into something, if I'm trying, I know it's a matter of time before it just blows. I know it. It's good. This podcast is going to blow because I'm putting in the work. I'm actually doing it. And when I feel myself letting off the throttle, that's just putting that blowing further and further away. So it's just, that's how I feel, man. I feel like that you need to put that work in. And if you put that work in, you can do anything that you want in this world.
You're absolutely right. And for people who don't know what we're talking about is laws of attraction. So you believe in laws of attraction, positive mindset, a positive outcome, kind of in a loose terminology of that. If you want something so bad, if you sit there, you meditate about it, you think about it, you put in, it's not even putting in the effort. If you just think about something that you want badly enough and think so often, subconsciously, you will now find yourself in that situation. So with you, this podcast is going to blow up. This podcast is my future. This podcast is everything that I want to do, and it will be, is a basically law of attraction. Where if you have that mentality, it's got to succeed. Right?
Definitely.
Like sooner or later, I mean, you're on episode 188. That's insane. That's an absurd amount of time and commitment that you put into something. I mean, I did like a video series vlogging thing. It was like Drifting Tonight, and I did like 5 or 6 of them. I was like, and then I stopped doing it. 188 of these, and a lot of your conversations are 2 hours long. 3 hours long. Like, I've seen some pretty long conversations coming from you guys. Great, thorough, very, very good conversations. Holy shit, 188 of them.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, dude.
Like, what motivates you? What gives you that? Again, this is not your main hustle. You have a whole nother business going on top of another business, on top of a family, on top of what motivates you to do 188 podcasts?
That space that I want to be in. And, it's not about followers or it's not about views or anything like that. It's the end user. I want to have as many end users as possible that can hear these messages, to hear this conversation that I'm creating with somebody like yourself, and hopefully they can get some inspiration out of it. If it's a 2-hour conversation, you're going to be able to pull one thing out of that you could implement into your life to hopefully make your life better, easier, to motivate you in some sort of way. And I've already experienced that in these 188 episodes. People have contacted me and tell me, not that podcasts changed my life, but hey, it made me look at situations a little differently. I'm like, all right, cool, man. If I can help you out with that, that's awesome. because at the end of the day, I just want to help people. And it's not like I want to be a philanthropist or I want to go save the homeless or anything, but I want to help people who were in my position, who didn't have any idols, didn't have anybody to look up to, didn't have a physical
Right.
like lane. That's why I bring up Adam 22, because now I see, okay, that's how he did it. Okay, now it's possible. I want people to
Yeah.
see me and see like, wait, this dude from Oxnard didn't go to high school or didn't go to college or anything like that, didn't have rich parents, didn't get a loan, but he's the one that created Downstar. And then now this podcast, yeah, I did all that, and I'm not the smartest person. I just worked for it, so you could do it too, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I didn't go to college, and it's kind of funny because like I'm sure you get it too. Like as humbling as it is, like if we have a YouTube video or something that comes out, we'll see in the comments like, "Man, I wish I worked there," and I have to kind of take that and go, "Tight,"
Yeah, right.
like don't forget, like yeah, tight, like we're talking about, oh my God, how big of a pain in the ass it is to go and set up a vendor booth at these car shows, and how much work it is. There's a lot of people that would gladly
Hell
do it.
yeah,
There's a lot of, if you don't do it, somebody else is, and they're gonna do it with a smile on their face.
definitely, man.
So it's the pump and the brake scenario again. It's kind of like pump the brakes. I'm living the dream life, homie. I think you are too.
Yeah,
I think you are too.
definitely am. Bro, tell me about the brand, dude. Koru. What do you guys
Yeah.
represent? What makes you guys different than any other shop? What is the experience that you're gonna get when people support the brand?
Cool. Great question. So a little bit different about KoruWorks is it's a small shop. There's 4 full-time employees plus Tyler Clayton, the shop owner. Tyler has a little section of his shop where he works on his own private projects, and we get to use them as shop display vehicles. But all employees kind of get to collaborate on those vehicles and put in their efforts. We're in this great position where we can build cars from the bottom up. We work with Sebastian, who's Motec certified. He does some of the sickest wiring you've ever seen in your life. Ray canvas and that. Everything's fantastic. He's got his feet wet in a lot of really nice fabrication as well. And we have Ryan, who has been with the race team for years and years and years. So if you want somebody to set the car up right, Ryan's got the knowledge to go through from that, from corner balancing, alignments, things like that. So what you come to when you see us is you bring us your stock car. Bring us your unmolested car, please.
Yeah.
And we work with you from the start to finish. So we've done stuff like, SR swaps or a smaller job here and there, but realistically, we do full builds. So we get to do from the start to finish. Koru has been around now actually for 9 years. I've been with them for 3.5. Koru itself, it's kind of got this unique style. It's actually not even that unique as much as it is truly like that Japanese drift style and mentality. So, some of the cars, I would look them up. They are 100% influenced from a Japanese culture, which in drifting, yeah, everybody could say, oh, I've got a Origin body kit or whatever, and I've got work wheels and stuff, it's JDM. Not really. There's like this little bit extra that you have to do. And so Tyler, who's like a style god, has really nailed that down to like simplest things of like pulling subframes, powder coating them, bright colors, mismatched mirrors. Like when you fully build and paint a car, you're like, I'm not going to throw a completely different color mirror on there. Hell no. Nah, he does it, and it like breaks the internet. Or I'm not going to put that stupid spoiler on the car. He does it, and it breaks the internet. It keeps on. He has these situations that he keeps doing. So Sebastian, the guy who does the wiring, is heavily influenced with lowriders. I don't know if it's him coming from Colombian background or not, but if you ever check out his car, it's lowrider paint scheme, tin-striped roof. He's self-taught himself how to spray candy and taping, and so he has like this own kind of unique steez that he can bring to it. Ryan, the other technician, is more of the very clean US spec style, what we think of JDM. No stickers, none of the like slaps or anything. It is like one color, the parts are correct, everything fits how it needs to, it's reliable, it does exactly what it needs to. So when you come here, you kind of get to pick your choice of who's going to be designing your car for you.
Got you.
It's pretty
That's
cool.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I just get to consolidate with that person and kind of push them in the right direction, or educate them in the right direction of what I see fit for them.
Got you. Now,
Yeah.
I've had a dream that probably a lot of people don't know about, that I want to have I already have it built in my head. It's a S14 red with a boss kit and a K-swap. That's what I want.
We've got like half of that car parked right here.
You guys are working on a K-swap, right?
Well, we got a K-swap S14. We have two K-swap S14s. We have an ITB track K-swap S14 that we're building right now, which is pretty gnarly. It's going to be sticky tires all the way around. But it will drift, but it's mainly focused on, spirited racing. Again, it's ITP K series, so it's not going to make absurd power. And then we have Sebastian's, who's building a Garrett Turbo K series. It's got a 6-speed sequential in it. Like, it's gnarly. It's a fully built race car. So we're doing those two K series now, and then hopefully here in the near future, we'll be working on another K series for one of our Hoonigan buddies. So we have some fun stuff working on with that. But we do have a Boss S14.
Really?
Yeah, we got a Boss S14 that's like sick.
Damn, dude.
You should just come over here and it's like right there, dude.
You know whose car I really liked was Scott from Grip Royal. I think it was his car, or it was in his booth. It was
the black one? Yeah, no, that's his car. It's like restored too.
Yeah.
It's like he literally took his time with that car. And like, to do a clean black paint job on like a hot rod is really hard. Yeah. To do a clean black paint job on any type of Nissan with a fiberglass body kit is like close to impossible. Dude, that car is glassing. Like, that car is so good. No, Scott, and so funny. Again, we work extremely close with Scott. I get to hang out with him almost like every other weekend at events. I get to, I'm also a judge for a series called Clutch Kickers, who pays out $100,000 to drifters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, down in Florida, we're the first, to my knowledge, the first series giving away $100,000 to the winner of the series.
Fucking awesome, man.
And each round, if you win first, you get 10, second's 5, and down the line, I think it's 5, 4, 1. I forget how it stacks up. 5, 4, 3, 2. But anyways, yeah, $100,000 drift series. I get to see Scott there all the time, setting up that vendor.
Scott's a great guy,
He's
man.
Still doing it. He's still hustling.
I love Scott.
He's a hustler, dude. Yeah. And so this is a guy that if anybody meets Scott owns Grip Royal. You see him at an event, talk to him. Just talk to him.
Definitely.
Because he shares a similar mentality that you and I do. He's been around the industry just as long as we have. He's never even been into Hondas, but he was in the Import Alliance. He was into making money. And so Scott with Grip Royal was just getting your standard off-the-shelf steering wheels, buying in bulk, and then personalizing them. Nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing
Killed it, man. And
crushed it. Crushed it.
Hustler.
He's still crushing it, dude. To this day, he is fucking crushing it.
I love Scott.
Like, we set up at these events, and I see him like, he'll sell out a whole truck. Say there's 500 spectators, he's going to sell 100 steering wheels. How do you do that? How do you do that? 1 in 5 people's walking away with a Grip Royal box. And I think a lot of it has to do with, like, he's that personable guy. He'll be the guy there that's at noon with a beer in his hand in the booth. He's not hammered drunk or anything, not yet. Yeah. He will be. But you're like, all right, I'm going to go touch the steering wheel. You touch one of his steering wheels, now you're in a full-blown conversation. Hey, man, how's it going? What do you drive? That's awesome. I know these people, like, and I think there is a true bit of Scott where it is truly to talk to the person, have a conversation. Maybe, he just wants to get to know you. I think there's another part of him where he knows that's his sales technique.
Yeah, definitely. He's a hustler, man.
He's really good.
He's a great dude. Yeah. I love that dude. He's actually somebody that I want to have on the podcast very soon. But so tell me about the drift community, man. Who are some of the great guys in the community that need a spotlight? Who are somebody that we should look up? Because a lot of people listening are probably coming from the Honda world, You know, I've always had an
Yeah.
admiration for the drift community, and I want to know who the
Yeah.
cool dudes are, so I can bypass all the
Who's the cool
lames.
guys? So this is really fun actually because there's like a couple different layers to drifting now. So what you need to know is we have the same God. In the Honda community, Stefan Papadakis is your God. In drifting, Stefan Papadakis is our God. Just we'll start there. So we'll
All
start
right,
there. You got your top. You got the lady at the top. From there, you have your drifters that drift on like a competition style format. These are the guys doing big horsepower V8s. These are guys with 4-speed dog boxes. We call them like the Pro-Am, Pro-2 drivers. You have your pro drivers, which are your Chris Forsbergs, your Von Gittin Juniors, the dudes that have been doing it since day
gotcha.
one. And honestly, I'm here to tell you, if you want to hate on Forsberg and Von and stuff, like go ahead. But like those dudes have earned it. Like they hustled. They have been doing it for a very, very long time, and I look up to each and every one of those pro drivers. Like, you want to hate on them, cool, but each one of those Pro 1 drivers deserves to be there because they've been doing it for a long ass time. And then you have like your local event dudes that just go around there and thrash, beat on their cars. You'll see like final bout. Final bout's like cool.
Got you.
That's the cool kid. The industry in drifting now is like final bout.
That's that guy.
That's like
Ela,
shit.
right?
Yeah, Ilya. Yeah. And then there's a lot of good guys that run it. I think it's like Club FR, maybe. There's a lot of different names that go on, but like the Midwest, Chicago, predominantly like Chicago, there's like these Risky Devil dudes, Trap House, like they started creating like just like in Japan these cliques. Like I'm team
Got
this,
you.
I'm team that, I'm team Burst or whatever, just everywhere else has their own teams. And they were kind of like some of the first to start doing matching cars outside of a pro level. That got a lot of attention, and now like the cool thing is like that. It's kind of like when skateboarding went from vert to
Yeah.
street. You got your Tony Hawks and stuff, and then you got like your whoever shithead Nagizak is over here,
Yeah.
like
Muska.
skating rails. Well, yeah, Muska. Muska's the shit right now. Okay, that's what you gotta know. And then more recently, probably in the last year or two, you have the guys doing the sideshows, which is very loose drifting.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is in the industry, or not in the industry, like in the news, they say these people are drifters. You have the people with the Hellcats or the. It's almost like the same types of like cars. It's like the stock 350Zs, the Hellcats, really obnoxious cars. They have no reason to be out doing this because they're giving, honestly, I'll say right now on your podcast, fuck those kids.
Fuck the
Like
takeovers.
they're giving us. All right, and I'm not
Fuck
alone
them.
on this. Like, fuck you guys. Like, I get it. It's exciting, and we just literally talked about us like taking over a hotel and shit. Damn it, I'm contradicting myself, aren't I?
Fuck it. Life's a contradiction, dude.
Yeah, fuck it. This is different. We were not shutting down streets and putting people's lives in jeopardy, getting hit by a driver that doesn't really know how to drive their vehicle. I mean, these donuts these guys are doing where people are slapping the quarter panels and stuff. Like, first off, you're going to hurt somebody, and they are hurting people. Second off, who are you to stand outside and slap my quarter panel? Okay, let's just say this. Say I'm into sideshows. Say like that's my thing. Like I like going out late at night, hanging with my homies, and fucking off in the middle of a street. Who gives you the right to come over here and start slapping my car with your fucking get your shit? And I see these passengers now. They're hanging out the windows and stuff, holding on to get your ass back inside my car. Like, okay, so that's like my first quarrel is like a lot of people are just like disrespecting the shit out of like people's cars. Like, fuck that. Second off, people are getting hurt. Third off, you're making my trip. Like, I live in the city. I can't get home sometimes. Like, you're fucking up my intersections. Get the hell out of the way. And third, like one of the most important things of the people getting hurt is like, you're kind of tarnishing the industry that I've worked so hard to be in.
100%.
When you're putting like, it's when you're putting a title on a group of us, it's the same thing that happened with skateboarders. There was a few bad apples that really fucked it up for a lot of people. You know, and it took a while. It took like the X Games to almost legitimize like street skating.
Yeah.
You know, we have, you know what we have as drifters? We have Tokyo Drift. That's what legitimizes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what, oh yeah, you drift team, like Tokyo Drift. I just say yes. I just say yeah.
I love Tokyo Drift.
I do too. It's like my favorite one. It's a fucking sick movie. But like, is that what I do as a job? No.
It would probably be a lot more rad if it was, though.
It would be a lot. God damn, that movie was sick. Like, no, dude. You know what my job's like? It's just like looking at cars and wondering why they don't idle right. Like 90% of my day is, well, this car doesn't run right. Why is that? Like,
I feel you on that.
None of my career is like Tokyo Drift.
One day it might be.
One day.
You know, maybe there's a rave going on in one of the rooms right now, and you don't know about it.
Dude, I got to work with Lil Baby, rapper, just recently.
No shit.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah. So we did his music video. If you want to check, there's KoruWorks cars doing donuts and stuff.
No way.
Of my new, yeah. So it was cool. We got to get a bunch of my homies together. Dustin Miles, a pro driver as well, helped orchestrate getting everybody together, and we got to have like our homies' cars doing donuts around him and stuff. And it was literally like a Fast and Furious set. And like, so the director comes out, right? And he's like, yeah, Lil Baby's about to be on set. So this is the theme of the music video. Okay. And like, I'm there with my friends, whatever, just fucking blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so Lil Baby is basically racing a guy for his girl. And I just remember like just speaking up and be like, yeah, we go through this situation all the time. We got it. We're pros at this situation. I've raced for every girlfriend I ever had in my life. Drop the bra, I'm off. Okay, I know it. And like, so this is watch the Lil Baby music video. That's what it is. That's literally what it is. And so the whole night, you have people like us being like, man, you want to speak up. You almost want to speak up because you're like, hey, this isn't how it actually works. Like,
they shut up, nerd.
You know, it's like, right. It's like, you ever just been in that situation, like Fast and Furious 1, he hits like the nitrous and his floor pan falls out. You're like, was there nobody on staff that spoke up and said, hey, that's not how it works? Like, was there nobody?
Oh,
like,
my God.
I wanted to be that guy during this music video where I'm like, it's not how it works, Al.
Oh, my God.
But instead, they ran the music video how it was. It's a great music video. It was really fun getting to work with him. He blew out the clutch in his Lamborghini.
Oh, shit.
Like, almost instantly. Yeah, he didn't know how to drive his Lamborghini. You should almost get coached when you buy a Lamborghini. There should be, like, a week-long course of, like, this is how you drive a race car. You know, he was sitting on like the embankment. You know, I like Lamborghini's kind of that clutch disengagement thing, and he was just kind of sitting it, letting it bop, and then just start rolling down the hill real quick. It wasn't bopping no more.
Fuck, dude.
Didn't even get to use his car for the shoot. It was kind of funny,
man.
But that's kind of like those situations you talk about there. You're like, I want to do this podcast enough to where it's like linked in with something. Well, I got to work with Lil Baby, which is like pretty fucking cool for my life.
Fuck yeah,
like,
Lil Baby's the shit.
I get to do things like that.
Damn, I love it, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking Gregg, brother. Yeah. You know, it's so good to talk to you, dude.
I love talking to you. Love talking to you.
It brings back so many old memories, and I'm so happy to see you doing great, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And this is an amazing opportunity. I mean, realistically, I'd love to even go into like digging into the industry and how the industry even works. And if you want to get into cars more, that's fantastic. But like, realistically, I'm more hyped on come out with that conspiracy theory podcast. Let me get in that thing. Let's start tearing apart some conspiracy theories.
If I do, you'll be the first episode, bro.
I would love it. I love it. And again, congratulations on everything you've accomplished.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you've earned.
Thank you, bro.
You've earned all of it.
Hey, likewise, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. Hey, so before we get out of here, dude, please let everybody know where they can follow you and the business at.
Absolutely, absolutely. Instagram, it's Gregg with two G's at the end, so it's Gregg, Gregg.Bucell. But KoruWorks is KoRU Works, and that's where you can kind of check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the cool projects that we're doing. When COVID kind of chills out for a second, we love giving shop tours. Come in, check out some of the whips, and you need to come down, come out and check us out.
I definitely want to. I always said that if I was ever to move out of California, it would be to Atlanta. So
he's always said
I love it out there.
That's a true story. That's a true story. I remember you saying that.
I love it, man. Yeah, when everything comes down, I would definitely like to take a trip out there, visit family out there in Atlanta, and then come hang out with you, man, and hopefully you could show me this drift world, bro, because I'm right there, bro. I'm right there,
he's
dude.
Right. We got him. We got him, y'all. Like, he's already talking about a boss kit. He's already built it in his head. Let's just make it real. We got one kind of there that has your name on it, bud.
I'm right there.
I can't wait to see you in the drift community. I don't know what you're doing with the BMW, you snobby bastard. You spoiled rotten brat.
I love it. I love it,
bud.
Bro.
Cool. Yeah, it's a real enthusiast mobile, you asshole.
Hey, dude, it's so good to talk to you, man. I want to keep this line open, bro. We still have the same number from 10 years ago. We just found that out. So let's keep in
just literally found out
let's keep in contact, man. I really appreciate talking with you, Gregg. For real, man.
Absolutely. And I appreciate everybody. If you listen to the end, I want to thank you personally. If you listen to us go off on random memories and stuff like that, thank you. But yeah, I can't wait to come back on and even without the show, talk to you for a couple hours. This is
we'll make it happen, brother. Hell yeah, guys! Please make sure you check out Koru, check out Gregg. Great people over there. Please check out our sponsor, Heel Toe Automotive. Been around since 2002, supplying you guys with all the Honda parts that you need. And if you listen to the commercial, you guys know what to do to get hooked up by Heel Toe. So make sure you check them out. HeelToeAuto.com, Instagram Heel Toe Automotive. And this is Downtime with Downstar, episode 188. And we out. Peace.
Peace.